I'm here to do a Man of Steel review for you guys. I posted an emotional trailer reaction and got a lot of responses from you guys on to do a review of the whole movie, so I'm here to talk about the things that I liked and I didn't like about the film. I'll start with my overall rating of the film. I would give it a solid 8.5 to an 8, and that's a damn good rating, especially for an origin story superhero film. Things I liked about the movie, I loved the revisioning of Krypton. I loved how the technology looked real. I always imagined that if, Kryptonians look like us, so there had to have been some type of evolutionary process that was similar to ours for them to look so similar to us. And so their technology would also evolve in ways ours would as well. And futurists say by like 2200, 2300, we'll have some of the technologies that we see in the movie as far as genetic engineering of human beings goes, as far as nanotechnology being fused with our minds to make us, super smart, and molecular engineering, as we see when he types in whatever he types in, and then that key to the ship pops out of nowhere. That's molecular engineering, and it was pretty cool to see that on film look so realistic, and how the ship comes to Earth by kind of traveling through a black hole. That makes, Krypton must be trillions of light years away, but if you have, type of black hole technology, then you could theoretically bend space and time and actually break it so that you could travel through space and time at impossible rates, which is pretty cool to see that done right in the movie. I love the acting. I loved Henry Cavill as Superman. He was amazing. Um, I also thought Kevin Costner was awesome as Pa Kent, and especially Russell Crowe as Jor-El. I think he was like the definitive Jor-El for me now. I mean, he acted like Russell Crowe, but he wasn't typical Russell Crowe in the movie, which was so cool. Another actress who stole every scene she was in from me was the actress who played Feora. Her name is like Andrea Trujo, or it's hard to pronounce, but wow, she was a great Feora. And in the comics, it says that Feora was like a serial killer, and she was a master of Krypton's ultimate martial art, Hora-Kuru, I think, if I remember right. So that kind of explains why, even though Superman had such longer yellow star exposure, why she was able to kind of manhandle him a little bit in the IHOP scene when they were fighting, which I thought was really cool how they took that into consideration. Other things I loved about the movie, just the action and CGI looked amazing. It kind of reminded me of The Matrix, but it was even more impressive because they didn't use um, the black tones of the clothes and the heavy rain to kind of shield it from looking too video gamey. They had Superman fighting in broad daylight, and it looked damn amazing. And I just got to hand it to director Zack Snyder. He did a really good job of making everything seem real. Back to Krypton, I love how they like touch on the bureaucratic process there and how that kind of led to the planet's doom. I think that had a lot of metaphors and things to say about our society in general, which I think was pretty cool. Um, it was just a really good movie, guys. It wasn't what I expected. When I first saw it, I was kind of let down by it, but the second time I saw it, I realized that I kind of just let my preconceived notions of what I thought the film was going to be kind of ruin my first viewing experience because I was so thrown off by the non-linear fashion that they went about telling his origins. Things I didn't like about the movie or that could have been changed to make it better, in my opinion, I think it could have used even more of his origin and why Superman is Superman. I mean, he's a superpowered alien from another planet. Why does he feel the need to save people? Why is he good? And I know that comes from Jonathan Kent, but and the moral values that he instilled, but I would have just liked to have seen more of that. I also wanted the scene where he finds his suit finally and finds the fortress and comes out like triumphantly embracing who he is, not hiding from the world anymore. I wanted that to be one of the climactic moments in the film, not like an afterthought or something that was done so early just to kind of get to the action. Um, I would have also liked to see for the film to address the deeper philosophical and religious issues that Superman raises, and what that means. Like, we as a species of humans are very egotistical in that we like to think that we're the center of our own galaxy, let alone our own universe, and think that we're the only ones out there in the vastness of everything that is the multiverse. And it's just mathematically and logically just insane to think that way. I mean, the chances of us being alone are just zero. It's really zero when you understand how big the universe is, how many trillions and trillions of stars, and how many billions and hundreds of billions of planets surround all those stars. I mean, it's literally impossible for us to be alone. And the philosophical questions that change and or that addresses, I would have liked to have seen a little more of humanity's ego death, and that, holy crap, there's another race out there and they're superior to us in all the conventional ways that we think of superiority, as far as, physical strength and technology, and they're more advanced than we are. We're a very relatively primitive species still, and we have pretty much zero working knowledge of the universe. And I mean, Krypton is a nanotechnology enhanced race that has a working knowledge of the entire universe, and they're, thousands and thousands of years beyond where we are now. So I would have liked to have seen some of those philosophical questions addressed more in the film. I think that would have added a really cool touch to the film that I think audience members wouldn't have expected, or because not a lot of people sit around thinking about stuff like that. It's mostly just the nerds like us. So it would have been cool to see that. There was a few plot holes in the movie that I didn't like. I could get over, but it was like, okay, that was a little bit blaring. But I don't really even want to go into those, so I don't make this too long. But those who saw the movie know what they are. But it's okay, because every film has stuff that can be fixed. Um, I think people griping over Superman killing Zod at the end with the whole neck snap was just a little bit unfair. I mean, you can't jail Zod. I mean, he's Kryptonian, and they just used the last key to the Phantom Zone. So what are you gonna do? Or the only way to stop him from doing what he was doing is to kill him. Like Zod says in the film, either you die or I do. So I don't get why people are so mad about that. And Superman kills in the comics too. People saying like, "Oh, it's his golden rule." Well, for one, it's Batman's golden rule, and for two, Superman does whatever he needs to do to preserve the human race, and you can't fault him for that. I kind of liked that about Zod too, in that it took an attempt to understand his side of it, understand his point of view. He wasn't just malicious and evil for no reason. His whole genetic being, his purpose was to ensure the survival of Krypton and the survival of his race. And I kind of felt for the guy, because I was like, you know what? If I was one of the last human beings and it was my race or someone else's race, I would side with my race. Sorry. I mean, I would do whatever it needed to be done to ensure that humanity survived. I mean, because if not, I mean, we just fall into oblivion, and that's that. All our progress, all the things that we've done just become lost in time and space, like everything else. But I really liked that he wasn't just like had a vendetta against Superman, or was just evil for no reason. I like that the film gave him a purpose that was somewhat relatable to, his cause. But overall, guys, the film was awesome. In my top 3 superhero films of all time for sure. And by far the best Superman movie ever. I mean, watching those 70s Superman movies, yeah, they were great, but they were for their time. They're so campy, like, hey, Superman, come save my cat. It's just, it's a little bit ridiculous now and very dated when you watch it. And this is like, if a real superpowered alien existed, like this is somewhat how humanity would probably react. So I thought that was really cool.